Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Around the Table GTA. This episode is going to be called Get It Done. It's just another reminder that you need to go and get whatever you need to do done. If I already did a Get It Done episode, this is Get It Done 2. I don't have time to check. No, it's not even that I don't have time to check. There's just so many episodes that I've made. I'm actually going to start counting to see if I'm almost at the 100 episode mark. I'm also going to be extending this season to maybe, yeah, until the summer hits. So there'll probably be another episode. And then when it's officially summer, we're going to come out with the new intro with the new season as well. If you have been watching the podcast, listening to the podcast, however you want to express in taking the podcast, you could see the development, you could see the quality change and all of that. And that's just getting it done. Every day we wake up, it's an opportunity for us to get something done. Maybe this is where you start before you become a millionaire, and it's all about mindset. When you're getting things done, it's that simple. And I know it's easy to say it, but it's harder to practice. When I was young, my parents used to always tell me that they were going to bring me to McDonald's after church. After 3 weeks in a row, I was screaming at my parents. I'm like, it's easy to say, but you don't know how I feel. And that's the thing about a lot of things. Sometimes we stay on our feelings about something that we could simply get done or we can get over. And it's all about getting it done. Like yesterday, I got woken up. I was supposed to do a podcast episode. Someone woke me up, couldn't get back to sleep. I went and did some cycling. Like I said in the last episode, I'm cycling for charity. I got that done. And then I went back home. I wanted to sleep. Guess what? There was construction outside. It was super loud. So I couldn't really do what I wanted to do initially. But I got started on other things and I started brainstorming ideas about the podcast. Half of them disappeared, but here we are with the next episode. You need to start what you want to do, right? Every day is a path or a chapter in your life. It could even be a small chapter for you getting to where you want to be. And when you think of life that way, it's harder to get upset. It's harder to be depressed. Why? Because there's so much that you could do. There's so much ways you could plan it. And in the times that you are very active, like for me, that summertime, I recently found out I have certain like springtime allergies now. So spring, I'm bottled up. Winter, I'm bottled up. So I'm going extra hard in the summer and the fall time until like I move to another country or another area where obviously the allergies don't hit me as hard, to make sure that I could fully express myself and be able to stay focused on what I need to do. Focusing has been a very hard thing for me for a majority of my life, but it's even harder in today's day and age. But how do we challenge that? How do we fix that? How do we put ourselves into a mindset that is a get it done mindset? Um, there's plenty of ways. I've mentioned it in past episodes, but I think it's a good recap because we're in a new season or getting into a new season. Both ways, new season of the podcast and also new season in life. Whether you are, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, it's going to be another season, right? Because the hemispheres and all of that, right? But you could even look at waking up today, listening to this podcast as a new season or a new chapter in your life. What's something that you could do, and what are your strengths and weaknesses? Are you going to capitalize on your strengths, or are you going to focus on your weaknesses? What is something that is a tough thing for you? And the funny thing about me is, I think I mentioned it. I mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again. Sometimes when something is too simple, it's hard for me to do. I have to make it a little bit more complicated. I have to make it more challenging, or I have to make it a big deal for me to go and action it. Right? Something like cleaning my room, for example. There's different reasons why I keep my room the way it is, but sometimes to move some stuff, it's a big challenge for me. But if I have the mindset of, oh, if I do this in like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it's going to be a new record for me. So, bam, it instantly makes me want to do it. I know that I'm a competitive person, so I want to be the best. Like, I want to be the best that no one ever had was, right? Kind of like the Pokemon theme song. If you know, OG Pokemon fans. But it's that simple. Even with this cycling thing that I'm doing with my workplace, right now I'm in third, right? I'd rather be in second than be in third because third sounds like third and I'm not a shitty person, right? So I want to be number one. And yes, the main goal, I think it's 70K. I got to double check, but if you want to check it out, it is called Ride for a Reason. So you can check out hashtag Ride for a Reason. But anyways, I want to be number one, and to be number one, I need to just get it done, right? Whether it's rain or shine, whether I'm tired, whether I'm busy, I need to find or concoct a way to make sure that I am in first place. Why? Because number one, I want to be first. Number two, I'm competitive. And number three, it's going to make me look even better with the company because we're doing a charity thing. It's like, oh my gosh, you did X amount of kilometers. You're really dedicated to this. There's different ways to encourage yourself, bring yourself up, and show the world what your potential is. Sometimes you're too good at what you do, right? I was talking to someone recently and we were talking about different things. It's like, oh, why not this? Why not that? And sometimes you can be a threat. Taylor Swift song, You're the Problem. I'm the problem, it's me, right? And sometimes it's because you're too good that you get your roadblocks. You have to learn how to be humble. You have to learn how to play the game. Sometimes you have to act stupid. But at the end of the day, you need to know what you need to know or need to get to your goal, right? So, next season, I'm going to do a lot of, it's not going to be clickbait, but it's going to be kind of like a tutorial type of title because I know that stuff like that is going to trigger the algorithm to be better for me because our goal is to try to get to 1,000 subscribers. I think we're at like 48. We might have lost like 2 subscribers, so maybe we're gonna be at 46 or like 42. I don't know. It's hard, and the thing is, a lot of things in life start off hard. It's a grind. You need to start somewhere. You're not perfect. You're not even bad, right? Because recently I've just been talking to my team at work where people have been a little bit nasty to the new people, a little bit toxic, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with being toxic sometimes, right? We are humans, we have that dual nature in us, good and bad, right? So sometimes you got to be a little bit toxic and show people that you don't, you're not a person to be messed with, right? Especially if you're a pushover, especially if you seem like a pushover or you seem too nice. People are going to try to test you. Don't let people test you for no reason, right? If someone tests you, be straight up with them or show them the side that they've never seen before so they'll get in their place, right? You have to get it done and show people who you are, who you choose to be, and who you can be, right? And that's something that stays in the back of my mind because sometimes, I've said this before, sometimes people make me feel bad. And it's not necessarily intentional, but it makes you really think of what you can do. So, what I mean by that is like some people come into my life and they're like, oh, wow, I thought you'd be this or I thought you'd be this, right? Everyone has their own view of you. Everyone can see your potential in different ways. Some people think you aren't shit, your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend, your ex-partner, your ex-lover, or however, they didn't see what other people see in you, like maybe your current partner or your current wife or current husband or the person you're seeing right now. They don't see or they forgot that part of you. If you were to get rich today, you could tell that your exes would be crawling. Or if you became like a celebrity, your ex is going to look for an interview to try to either slander you or say, oh, you know what? I really messed up with that person. Getting it done is all about how you perceive yourself. And even if you think about it super hard, it's how much you believe in yourself. Do you believe in yourself? Who believes in you? And are you worth the time? Don't contemplate on this way too hard because it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, it is a very big deal. You're going to invest time in so many things, and the one thing that you have to make sure you invest time is in yourself. And we've noticed this with what happened in the last couple of years. Um, and it's something that's very important because if you don't have that self-awareness, if you don't have that self-care, you're going to break down, and it's not going to be fun, especially when you're limited in your movement or limited in access of certain things. um, some people know, for me, like, I'm not a big pharmaceutical person, mainly because of certain experience that I've had, right? Are you a person who can only function if you have your pain medicine, right? Or if you have a certain set of pills or you have a cocktail of pills? Why not do something to keep yourself healthy? Or why not eat certain food to help boost your immunity? Why not go outside more so that your body can normalize all the different things that are happening? You know, if you're in New York right now, the fires from Canada are just getting crazy. So you probably shouldn't be outside enjoying the weather, as nice as it is outside. Maybe the heat, it's included because of the wildfires, but at the same time, you kind of have to be selective. I think next season I'm going to do more breakdown videos, and like I said, that's how the titles are going to be because um, I think for the most part in my podcast, it is a mindset podcast. It's a way for me to express myself, but it's also a way where I break down things for people. So if you guys do have any questions, if you have any suggestions as well, I can break down a topic for you because that's what I do. I break things down, I make it simple, or I could complicate something very small so that you could actually have a hard thought on it, and there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, you know what you need to get done, right? If you're heavy and you want to lose weight, there's different ways to lose weight. If you're skinny and you're trying to gain weight, that was me for the longest time, crazy metabolism, trying to gain weight. I finally packed on some pounds. You know what you need to do. If you need a raise at your workplace, or if you want to climb up the ladder, you need to know what you want to do, or how to get there. You could ask, you could research it. We're in the best time ever, at least from our knowledge, right? We don't know how much history has been erased, right? But a lot of things are at the tip of your fingers. Hey, how do I find a job in this? How do I learn to code? How can I lose 50 pounds in one season? What's the best diet for this? How do I get taller? Right? There's so many different things, and it's crazy, and it's just how you start. So to get it done, ultimately, to simplify everything, is you need to start. Anyways, I think I'm gonna start ending episodes like that because it'd be super awesome, right? It's a long, drawn out version, obviously, for the length of the podcast, because everyone talks about the length of my podcast, and I'm like, guys, statistically, you don't even listen to that much, but some people do, some people don't, right? But sometimes you have to take constructive criticism or suggestions, and then sometimes people just want you to do something because they'd like it that way, but they're not even paying attention, right? So you got to be aware of that. You need to do what's good for you, and what's good for whatever's making you make money or bringing you joy. You need to find that balance, and it's not even a work life balance, it's a life balance. Some people love the work that they do, right? And they ignore certain things in their life, and it's kind of okay. I don't know, I'm not really in that scenario, but you need to know what makes you happy, what makes you feel fruitful, and what helps you develop, right? Just one last story before I end it, because I have to always have a story. So someone was talking to me at work, and they're saying, oh, what area do you like versus what area do you like? And I've worked in almost every area at my workplace. Well, now with certain things getting shut down, I've worked in every area in my workplace, and I let them know that I like a certain workplace, and they give me a puzzled look, right? And I'm like, a lot of people don't like this area, but I love this area. And the reason why I love this area is because number one, I feel like I bring value, and number two, I feel appreciated in the area as well. So you need to know what drives you to be a better person, to stay in a place, to motivate you. It all starts with how you perceive things and what you want in your life, right? And clearly in my work life, I like to be appreciated and I like getting work done. So if I have those two things, most likely I'm happy at what I do. Kind of like the podcast. It fulfills me in the sense where I know that maybe I got the 5 views gang. Shout out to 5 views gang. And random people will hear my content and they'll like it, right? On Spotify, I have people from around the world. I have someone in Thailand. I have someone in Australia. And it makes me feel very happy that someone might have randomly stumbled onto my podcast, or some of you guys shared it to someone, and someone's constantly listening to it when I post it, right? And that brings me joy because I know that the effort that I'm putting into this is affecting someone in a positive way, right? And I think that's another thing to getting it done, find out what brings the best in you and continue to use that momentum. And for me, I use whatever I can to build up a momentum, especially when I'm not feeling my best or I'm kind of doubting myself. You need to know what could spark your joy again, or what could hold you onto something that's positive. And we want to make sure if we are doing anything like that, it's for the betterment of ourselves. It's not something that we're trying to hold on to that isn't necessarily for us, but we just don't want to let go. So, anyways, hopefully this episode speaks to you in a way where it makes you think, hey, you know what? Maybe I want to do a marathon this year, or maybe I want to read 5 new books. You could pirate books now. You don't have to buy it. Right? You don't even have to go to the store. You could buy it online, right? I want to learn how to do a backflip. There's probably 70 million videos of how to do a backflip, and there's different methods to do that, right? Just stop, think, I want to do this, and get started. The difference with that and a New Year's resolution, New Year's resolution, it's cold, it's crazy outside, and you're like, oh yeah, I want to do this, and then the rest of the world, like the rest of everything gets better, and you're like, maybe I'll do something else. Like you're in a dark place, and you're like, oh man, it's cold outside. When everything gets warmer and everything, I'm gonna do this, and then when everything gets warmer, you want to do everything else, right? So sometimes you need to be in the right season for you to get started on what you need to do. But at the end of the day, when you think about getting it done, it's all about getting started. Anyways, guys, hope you like this episode, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.